Hi guys! So, welcome back sa ating channel. So, ang topic na pag-uusapan natin ngayon is about inequalities, solve, and graph. So, we are now in the chapter 3 of our video, and this is all about inequalities. So, our first lesson is to solve and graph. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung mga concept na kailangan nating i-recall? So, first, we have the symbols. Okay? So, we have so this is greater than, this is less than, and this is greater than or equal to, then this is less than or equal to. So these symbols are called inequalities. Okay? So, 'di ba, in the first chapters ng algebra, we all know for only the equal. Let's say we have x is equals to 2. Okay? So therefore, our value of x is 2. But this time, inequalities na. Okay? So, gagamitan na natin siya ng mga symbol na to. Okay? Okay, so let's say naman, meron kang value na x. Okay, so this means that the value of x is less than 4. Let's say 3, 2, 1, negative 1, so on and so forth. Okay? So, let's say meron naman tayong x is greater than or equal to 3. Okay? So, the value of x should greater or equal to 3. So, that is 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth. Okay? And also, let us take note of some of the other symbols that we will use. So, we have brackets, and we have parenthesis, and we have the bracket. So, ito, ginagamit ito para sa mga greater than, tapos less than. Okay? So, then these brackets are used in the symbols of less than or greater than or equal and less than or equal. So, para sa natin gagamitin to? So, we will use this in the graph of or graph in a number line. Okay? So, dito, magsaset tayo ng limit nag-using nitong mga symbol na to sa pag-graph. Okay? So, let's say this is x is to 4. Okay? So, i-graph natin yan sa number line. So, para mas ma-appreciate, let's apply it sa mga example. Okay. So, also, take note. So, let's make a note. So, take note dito, sa mga problems, babanggitin si interval notation. Okay? So, when we say interval notation, so that is two numbers, so which is smallest and the largest. Okay? If there is no largest number, use infinity. Okay? If there is no smallest number, use negative infinity. Okay? So, ayan pa yung isang rules na laging tatandaan dito sa ating inequalities. Okay. So, let's apply it sa ating mga example. Okay. So, the first problem is to draw a graph of each inequality and give the interval notation. Okay. So, first, we have n is greater than to negative 5. Okay. So, first, let's make a graph. Okay. So, let's say this is your number lines. Susundan natin yung nasa ano. Ayan. So, let's say this is your number line. So, a number daw is greater than negative 5. So, that is going to positive. So, let's say this is negative 5. Okay. Then, this is negative 2, negative 1, and 0. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, next is to graph it. Okay. So, using these conditions, kapag daw ito ay gagamitin kapag less than or greater than. So, yun yung gagamitin mo. Okay? And, dun mo siya ihaharap. Sabihin, a number daw is larger than 5. So, papunta yan dito. So, dun mo ihaharap. Okay? Yan. So, ayan na yung parenthesis mo. And, this is your arrow. So, therefore, our interval notation here, okay, that is negative 5. Since there is no specific largest number, so that is to positive infinity. Okay? So, dalawa yung ating answer. Next, for the problem number 2, we have a number is greater than 4. Okay? So, let's graph it uli. So, let's say this is the 0. 1, 2, okay, 3, 4. Okay, so, a number is greater than 4. So, yung graph mo is going to this. Right? Because a number daw is greater than 4. Okay? So, ayan yung ating graph. And therefore, our interval notation is 4, since there is no larger number, to positive infinity. Okay? So, using ko lang infinity natin. Okay? Yan. So, next is problem number 2. Okay? So, a number or negative 2 is less than or equal to k. Okay? So, let's graph it. So, ayan. So, negative 2 is less than or is greater than or equal to k. So, iniba lang natin yung ating variable. So, ano yung mga numbers na yan? Okay? So, mas malaki daw si negative 2 kaysa dun kay k. So, ibig sabihin, that is, the k is smaller than negative 2. So, this is negative 1, negative 2, so on and so forth. Let's say this is negative 10. Okay. So, since this is less than, greater than or equal to, we use the bracket. And sabi, na, negative 2 is greater than. So, mas malaki dun kay k. Ibig sabihin, yung bracket mo, dito, paharap. Kasi tinutukoy mo yung mga smallest number kay negative 2. Okay? Yan. Therefore, your interval notation is negative infinity, okay, negative 2, and since this is bracket, okay? Next, for the problem 4, okay, so for the problem 4, we have negative 5 is less than the number x. So this is, let's say this is 0 going to negative 5 at this point. This is 1, 2, 3, and so on. So negative 5 is less than x. So ibig sabihin, ihaharap natin siya dun kay x. Okay? Since this is less than only, we use parentheses. So, yan. Ito yung natin, parentheses, and this. So, therefore, our interval notation is negative 5 to positive infinity. Okay? Okay, so for our next exercises, that is to write an inequality for each graph. So first, we have this graph. Okay? So ano ang inequality niyan? Okay? So the inequality here is, let's say, represent x. So that is x is less than negative 2. Okay? So we all know that this graph is going to the lesser of negative 2. So mas mababa kay negative 2, and this, since this is parenthesis, that is either less than or greater than. Okay? So this is the answer. Okay? Next, for the problem 2, we have x is less than or equal to negative 5. So, how did you say so? So, kagaya nung sa number 1, smaller than negative 5. Okay? And since this is parenthesis, so this is less than or equal to. Okay? And this is a number. So anything number here going to this side. So that is x is less than or equal to negative 5. And next, for the example 3, we have x is greater than 1. So, a number is greater than 1. So, as you see, yung pinupoint out nitong bracket is papunta dun sa papunta dun sa right side, which is greater than daw kay 1. So, a number is greater than 1. So, this is the answer. Okay. So, for our next set of examples, the direction here is to solve each inequality, graph its solution, and give the interval notation. So, for our first example, ganun pa rin yung gagawin natin, katulad sa mga previous lesson ng algebra. So, we have x over 11, multiplied mo kay 11, para matira sa left side ay si x. So, therefore, you have x is greater than or equal to 110. So, if we graph it, so let's say this is 0, 50, and 110. So, a number or number is greater than or equal kay 110. Any number daw yon. So, obviously, bracket yung gagamitin natin dahil ito ang kanyang symbol ng inequality, and papunta siya dito kasi mas malaki daw kay 110. Therefore, our interval notation here is 110, positive, infinity. So, yan yung tatlo nating sagot. Next, 2 plus r is less than 3. Ganun pa rin. 2 plus r, negative 2, negative 2. We have r is less than 1. So, if we graph it, okay. So, pag ginraph natin yan, we have 0, 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So, anong gagamitin natin? We will use parenthesis. Okay? So, malaki na daw si 1. So, ibig sabihin, ang interval notation natin dito is negative infinity 1. Okay? Next, problem 3. 8 plus n over 3 is greater than or equal to 6. So, what we will we do here? So, ganun pa rin. We have 8 n over 3, 6. So, para ma-eliminate or matira na lang si n muna, hindi mo muna concern si 8, lagyan mo muna to ng denominator, multiplied mo kay 3. Okay? So, you will have 24 plus n is greater than or equal to 18. Okay? So, ganyan ang gagawin mo para matira na lang si n sa left side. So, we will have n is greater than or equal to 6. Negative 6 kasi negative 24 and 18. So, this is our inequality now. If we graph it, you will have negative 6, 0, 1, 2. And since this is greater than or equal, we will use bracket. Ayan. Therefore, our interval notation here is bracket, negative 6 to positive infinity. Okay? Okay. So, for our example 4, we have v minus 9 over negative 4 is less than or equal to negative 2. Or positive 2, sorry. So, paano natin gagawin yan? So, dito meron tayong special consideration. So, eliminate po muna. So, we have b minus 9 over negative 4 less than or equal to 2. So, unahin muna natin si negative 4, yung nasa denominator. Okay. Then, we have negative 4 here. Okay. So, cancelled out, cancelled out. You will have v minus 9 is less than or equal to negative 8. So, this is the equation now. Add mo uli kay 9 para ma-eliminate. And you will get, teka, sulat natin uli. We have v minus 9 less than or equal to negative 8. Add mo kay 9 para ma-cancel out. And v is greater than or equal to 1. So, bakit natin naiba yung sign? So, meron tayong rules. Okay? Note. If you multiply or divide by negative, flip the sign. Okay? So, lagi itong i-apply. Okay? So, kapag minultiply mo daw siya or dinivide sa negative, if-flip mo yung sign. So, dito ko na siya pinalitan sa ating inequalities. Paano yon? Kasi ito, negative. Binultiply mo siya. Therefore, flip the sign. Or para mas convenient, i-flip mo na lang siya sa final, para makuha mo yung inequalities. Okay? So, graph natin yan. V is greater than or equal to 1. So, paano yan? Okay. So, to graph it, you will have 0, 1, So, mas malaki daw kay 1. So, therefore, we will use bracket dahil yan ay greater than or equal. Then, our interval notation here is 1, okay, then infinity. Okay, so this is the answer. Ito and ito. So take note nyo yan, ha. So next we have the problem 5. Negative 2 3 plus k is less than or equal to negative 44. So, ganun pa rin. So, distributive property muna tayo. Yan, parenthesis. So, we have negative 6 minus 2k is less than to negative 44. Eliminate mo muna si 6. You will have negative 2k is less than negative 38. Divide mo both sides by negative 2 and you will get k is greater than 19. Bakit? Dinivide mo siya sa negative. Remember this rule. If you multiply or divide by negative, flip the sign. Okay? Kaya siya naging k is greater than 19. So, graph na natin yan. If we graph it, ayan. So, graph natin siya ngayon. We have, since ang concern lang natin is positive, let's say this is 0 and this is 19. Okay? So, use parenthesis greater than 19. Ayan. And then, our interval notation is 19 positive infinity. Okay? Next, for the problem 6, we have negative 47 is greater than or equal to negative 8 negative 5x. So, ganun pa rin. Sulat natin yung equation. So, nandito si x sa kabila, nasa right side. So, stay na lang natin siya dito. So, we have negative 8 para ma-cancel to. And we have negative 8. So, we have negative 55 is greater than or equal to negative 5x. Divide mo both sides by negative 5. Okay? Cancelled, cancelled. And you will have 11 is less than or equal to x. Remember, flip. Since ito ay negative. Okay? Flip. Kaya magiging 11 is less than or equal to x. Okay? And, to rewrite this properly, magiging x is greater than or equal to 11. So, this is the final inequality. So, graph natin siya. Okay. So, to graph it, we will have 0. Let's say this is 11. Then, greater than or equal to, ayan, bracket, then ito. Our interval notation here is 11 positive infinity. Okay? Okay, so for our 7th example, we have negative 8, quantity n minus 5 is greater than or equal to 0. So, don't be confused if you have 0, okay, in the equation. So, we have negative 8 n minus 5 greater than or equal to 0. So we will use distributive property. Okay? So that is negative 8n plus 40. Okay? Greater than or equal to 0. Eliminate negative 40. Cancelled out. You will have negative 8n is greater than or equal to negative 40. Divide both sides by negative 8. You will get n is magiging less than or equal to 5 na. Remember that dinivide mo sa negative, so flip the sign. Okay? So if we graph the inequality na nasagot natin, so that is falls into this kind of graph. 5, let's say this is 0. This is negative 1, negative 2. Since that is less than or equal, use bracket, and our interval notation here is negative negative infinity to 5. Okay? Next, for the problem 8, you have a negative r minus 5, quantity r minus 6 is less than negative 18. So dito medyo tayo, be careful sa pagsasagot para sa mga signs. Okay? So we have negative r minus 5r plus 30 is less than negative 18. So bakit? Ito distribute mo dito. Okay? Then you will have negative 6r, simplify this 2, plus 30 is less than negative 18. So you will have negative 30, you will have negative 6r is less than negative 48. Divide both sides by negative 6. You will have r is greater than 8. So divide mo sa negative, di ba? So flip the sign and let's graph that inequality. So let's say this is 0, this is 8. So use parentheses. Okay? And you will have an interval notation of 8 positive infinity. Okay? Next, for the problem number 9, we have 24 plus 4b is less than for quantity 1 plus 6b. So, ganun pa rin yung ating gagawin. We have 24 plus 4b is less than 4 plus 24b. Okay? So, dito, ang mangyayari na is dalawa na yung may b natin. So, ganun pa rin naman yan. So, unahin muna natin yung mga numerical coefficient lang. So, we have negative 4, and we have 24b less than, we have 20 plus 4b. Okay? Then, we have negative 4b, negative 4b. And we have 20 is less than 20b. Divide both sides by 20 and you will get 1 is less than b. Okay, so hindi mo naman finlip dahil hindi naman siya negative. Okay, so to graph that equation, or pwede rin natin to sige, graph na natin. So we have 0, 1, and 2. Okay. So si 1 daw ay less than kay B. Okay. So Ganyan yung magiging graph. So, our interval notation here is 1, positive, infinity. Okay? Next, for the problem number 10, we have negative 36 plus 6x is greater than or equal to negative 8x plus 2 plus 4x. So, ganun pa rin yung ating gagawin. We have negative 36 plus 6x is greater than negative 8x, distributive property, minus 16 plus 4x. Okay? So, add this simultaneously. Okay? So, we have negative 36 plus 6x is greater than negative 4x minus 16. So, sinimplified ko na. So, dito tayo kay 4x. So, we have negative 36 plus 10x is greater than negative 16. Okay? 36. We have 10x. 10x is greater than 20. Okay? And divide both sides by 10. You will get x is greater than 2. Okay? So, to graph that inequality, so that is 0, 2, this is 1, so on and so forth. And, mas malaki daw kay 2. So, parenthesis. And therefore, our interval notation is 2, positive, infinity. Okay? Next, for the problem 11, we have 3n plus 3 plus 7 quantity 8 minus 8n is less than or equal to 5n plus 5 plus 2. So, ganun pa rin. Don't be confused kung mahaba. Simplified it. So, we have 3n plus 9 plus 56 minus 56n is less than 5n plus 7. So, simplified, we have negative 53n, so itong dalawang to, plus 65 is less than 5n plus 7. Okay? So, mas malaki dito. We have negative 5n, negative 5n. Then, we have negative 58n plus 65 is less than 7. Okay? So, adding both sides by negative 65, you will have negative 58n is less than negative 58. Sulat lang natin negative 58, negative 58, and we will get n is greater than 1. Since negative to, so don't forget to flip the sign. Okay? So, if we graph it, okay. So, graph natin siya. So, greater than daw kay 1. So, numbers greater than 0, 1, 2. So, yan. So, our interval notation here, is 1, positive, infinity. Okay? Next, for the final example, we have negative 4 plus negative 4 quantity. Negative quantity 4 minus 5p plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 2 quantity 8 minus 5p. So, ganun pa rin yung ating gagawin. Distributive property. We have negative 4. Distribute mo to dito, magiging positive to. Plus 5p plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 16 plus 10p. So, ano ba yung pwede natin ma-simplify dito? We have 5p minus 1, so itong dalawa, is greater than or equal to negative 16 plus 10p. Okay? So, cancelled out. We have negative 1 is greater than or equal to negative 16 plus 5p. Okay? Then, ano sunod natin gagawin? Okay. So, itira na lang natin si 5p dito. So, add ka ng 16. You will have 15 is greater than or equal to 5p. Then, 15 greater than or equal to 5p. Divide both sides by 5. You will have p is greater than or equal to 3. Okay. So, to have the proper equation of the inequality, so, ganyan. So, graph it. So, we have 3, 0, negative 1, negative 2. So, number is greater than or equal to 3. So, ayan siya. And this. So, our interval notation here is negative infinity 3. So, notice that if you read this inequality, is the same lang dito. So, sinulat lang natin siya in standard form. Okay? So, that's it for the first lesson in the chapter 3, Inequalities, Solve, and Graph. So, I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So, yung PDF is i-upload ko sa Drive na nasa link sa description. Keep safe.